I think it's working.
All right. Yay, Mal, you're here. Musashi, are you here? Volkron's here. Volkron, can you talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, awesome. So
Here I am.
Musashi, where are you? Join us on the stage. And you know what? Like, I love about Discord. I can see everybody's name, right? Full names there. Willow, obviously, 03 Bubbles, Crypto Fan, Crazy Town Citizen X, Lazy Lumberjack, welcome, Jimmy 211, Biro, Morrow, Kroom, Zoomer, Red Fox 78. Welcome, guys. Dark Magic, welcome back. Mr. Potty Mouth, Magnum, Lonely Island. Yay, okay. Let's kick this off again. Welcome, everybody, to the Discord stage on our St. Patrick's Day, March 17th AMA for Townstar. We've already talked about a couple of things, so we won't recover them, just some announcements that we made. One of the key ones there, of course, was that this Gala, Town to Gala swap is going well, and we've already had about 175 million, about 176 million towns swapped into them. So good news there. But Michelle, let's go now to our agenda. Lead us.
Let's see what we've got left here. I know we've got the game update this last week was mostly just those new NFTs that were in the packs. I don't think there was any other changes. I know we've got another game update coming on Monday. I'm not sure what Mal has leaked so far because I haven't been paying attention to what he's leaked. So I'm not going to say anything about that until later. We'll let him take that over. What else we got going on? We still got to send out the rare storages. I think these should be coming soon. There was a little bit of a holdup getting them sent out, but those are definitely coming. So are the bakeries and cakeries for anybody who bought in the last sale. That free one for if you bought two, you get a free one of the opposite kind. Those are also on their way out. So are those competition rewards from the 7th of February for that first February competition. All that stuff should be out really soon. It's all real close and basically ready, just waiting to get sent.
Cool.
We've also been slowly kind of expanding the playtest. So if anybody out there doesn't have access and does want it, let me know.
Wait a minute. What did you just say? The town you're giving people more access to the Townstar Godot playtest? No funky sign-up sheets?
I've just been secretly adding people to the allow list.
Secret additions to the allow list. Awesome. So you guys heard that. And yeah, just go ahead and ask. We are opening up servers, very, very stable, thanks to Volkron's work and the team. So yeah, just go ahead and ask away. Look, they're already asking. Grok this, Stan. Perfect, guys.
I'll add you guys to my list after the AMA. We'll get you in.
You know, one of the things, and maybe Mal, you can help join in on this discussion here as well. One of the things I just wanted to touch on, there was some, I don't want to call it salt, a little bit of sort of emotion swirling around the gotcha pack and the surprise and things like that happened this week. Wow, I know, you know, just from my point of view, I was watching from the sidelines, Mal, Michelle, and everybody jumping in, Top Boy, and kind of working on things. But Mal, did you want to share anything about that? My top note before you say this, thanks everybody for, you know, kind of sharing your notes and your thoughts. Yeah, we will do surprises. There is no giant nefarious thing behind stuff. It's us as a team working on trying to create value for everybody in the community, keep things exciting and interesting. But you know, I know there was a little bit of issues on that, and now I talked deeply about it, trying to figure out you know, just what to share back with everybody today. Now, did you have thoughts you wanted to share?
Yeah. Oh, it was that was quite a. It was an interesting week. Let's just we can say that at least. And I think the main issue comes down to just different sentiments and opinions. And I think there's multiple variables, so it's hard to just nail down on one and sort of cover that. So rather than keep sort of ringing the bell on it all, I think the point we just want to make is that, you know, we've taken the feedback on. We listened to everyone. There was a lot of happy sentiments, and then there was a lot of on the other side, not happy sentiment. And that's usually always, the case on things. But, it got a bit salty is what I'm going to say. I'm going to use that word because it did feel in some cases purely less than reasonable. And sometimes it was reasonable. So I'm going to admit there was two sides to it. And we took all of it in, as we always do, feedback, everyone's opinions. It's not been ignored is what I want to say. And we obviously go and use those experiences to try and do something better. The surprise, I think people could see by my reaction, I was a little bit shocked that people were surprised by a surprise, and the fact that we would even do such a thing and that there wasn't this whole thing behind it. It was just something we thought about doing before it. And it was just like, yeah, we could just do a cool thing, call them little fun story, blah, blah. And that was it. And I appreciate not everyone is into that, that was expressed. People don't care about the stories and all that nonsense. And it's fair enough, we're not idiots. It's not for everyone, but some people do. And as Sage just said, we might do surprises from time to time. It's not supposed to be nefarious. It's not supposed to be like FOMO and drive and go crazy. It's just, something nice to do. But a lot of good conversations have come from this, which I think is important. And I wouldn't share anything at the moment or say any more, but we had a lot of good conversations, which I think are great for going forward anyway.
Yeah, speaking of that word surprise, one of the things that I coined a phrase at Zynga, actually, one of the old on Farmville, is this, our job as game makers is to create surprise and delight, right? Sometimes surprises, don't delight people very much. Other times people love them. So that's just all about entertainment, right? And then, as Mel says, I'm going to just reiterate this phrase, polite, thoughtful, and constructive feedback are always welcome. But what's not welcome is treating our mods and team members as punching bags. I'll just keep bringing that up. You guys have said that all the way since I joined the team. Mal and Michelle are working really hard for everybody. So is everybody else. And so I want to reemphasize that. Polite, thoughtful, and constructive feedback are always welcome. And again, feel free to share your opinions, but because we love that. It's really important to us as a team. Gives us energy, gives us connection to you guys, and also helps fuel our understanding of what to do next. So cool. Let's move forward, Michelle. What's next? Talk about the burn. Oh, we got some updates, don't we?
We do have some updates.
You don't sound like Michelle.
She's muted. For you want me to go over the Godot stuff?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Cool. Well, everybody who is in the playtest may have noticed the proximity effects dynamic panel went live this week. So that's super fun. And those are the kind of changes that we want, to continue adding to the game, making it so that the game is more, the intricacies of the game are easier and it's more approachable for new players. So you don't have to, become a master of it. Like the game itself gives you feedback about how to play the game. Because it's deceptively complicated, as we all know, in a awesome and fun way, right? Think like, oh, this is going to be easy, and next thing you know, you're out of gas. You're like, oh, this is more complicated than I thought.
I still remember the first time I played, and it was like, wait, permadeath on gas? What?
Oh my gosh, for real. So so that went live. Also, another thing that went live, but nobody can see it, but I'm going to say it anyway because it is in there. It's in the code. We're redoing our main menu, the flow on how you pick your town, whether you're doing your regular town, your sandbox or casual, or if you're doing competition. So that's paving the way for the upcoming competition work that'll be coming in. And that's really exciting because it's pretty and it's straightforward and it's neat. So that's currently, you won't see that if you're in the playtest, but the code's there. We just have it disabled until a couple more things go in. Also, not to overlook the beauty factor. Our new load screen is so cute with the, bright blue background, the happy farmer, you got the chicken, some cool CSS animations and stuff. Thank you so much for the guys that worked on that. One of them may be in our Discord chat, an odd gent. So thank you for that. And cool. course, as I mentioned, the competitions. Also, what went live this week? Our AI, if you want to call it that, our worker and the sales vehicle fixes. We added some support for the units to change their behavior when their task cannot be fulfilled. For example, turning around if they can no longer fulfill that task. So that went live. Salty bot fix, an express peer fix, and probably about a total of 133 changes went in. So I'm just kind of covering the high level things, the things that you all would notice. Yeah, it was quite a bit. Any questions about what's out there in the playtest right now? See, there's one for SageMaker and Mal.
Oh, let's see. What was that?
Packets.
We'll leave that
Oh,
one.
no.
But there was a question. Go ahead, Mal.
I was going to say no. If the answer had just been no, so we can move on.
Okay. More surprises. Dub said, Rob, you want more surprises? We got surprises. We got a lot of surprises. Actually, so one of the questions was, should we file bugs for NFTs that aren't there? I don't think yet. Hey, now, give it a bit. Give it a couple of weeks because you're just adding them all the time. I mean, you could if you want, but chances are it's already scheduled in the plan. Just waiting to get there.
Yeah, I would say if you have an NFT and it's not working properly, then definitely file a bug report. But if the NFT just isn't showing yet, just wait a bit longer.
Yeah. And if I have to jump quick to mute, I will. There's some work going on in my house right now. So if you guys hear background noise, apologies for that. Let's see. Doesn't that load screen look great, guys?
Yeah,
cool,
so
right? Nice, fresh.
And we'll also use it to provide a little feedback as well. Like, for example, we don't have maintenance mode in yet, but when we do, it'll be that load screen that says, hey, sorry, partner, the game's under maintenance or whatever. And and some other feedback as well. So,
I think we just found the new voice of Townstar.
I do have rural Appalachia in my background.
Sorry, we're going to delay the game because Volcron has shifted roles from tech to voice talent.
Lazy Lumberjack, please, yes, add your questions. I was just going to go over the upcoming work that's actually in progress and being tested while we're waiting on you.
Yeah, do that.
Okay. As I mentioned before, the main screen flow looks good. It'll make a little more clear what exactly you're getting into when you make a town. And that's kind of phase one of picking out, your new competition and or casual. More NFT work, that's in progress, of course. Somebody asked in Discord, like, why don't you file bugs on missing NFTs? Well, that's kind of like you're building a house and the drywall's not up. You don't file a bug and say, this house has a bug, the drywall's not up. It's just something you have to do, right? So we're, not to downplay your question, but we know. We're sticking them in there, work in progress, continually, every day. So that's positive. And the really cool thing that we're testing right now, this week and up to last night as well, is the fast forward and the offline play. So a concern from some players was like, well, what if my town is gas negative, or what if I don't want it to do offline play, right? So we got you. Don't worry. There'll be a switch in the game where you can say, I don't want my town to run offline. And in that case, it won't. But for people who do have that enabled per town, not per account, but per town, when you log in, the server is going to say, okay, it's been an hour up to a day since you last played. I may calculate how your town has progressed in this time. And then it'll fast forward you. And that's in test right now. So looking forward to that coming out soon. And that's a big feature, surprisingly complex, but also opens up a ton of possibilities, which I am not gonna leak, but I could. I'm not gonna do it. So, and then networking improvements. Everybody likes fast, immediate, small networking, right? We've come a long way from the days of Doom, 4-person multiplayer over a dial-up modem. But if they can do it, so can the internet. So we've made a lot of improvements on our networking, and looking forward to that going live as well. So here's a question, Lazy Lumberjack. We have some kind of bug report database where you say other testers' reports. Oh, so you don't enter dupes. Yep. and then where you can edit. Okay, so something like Zendesk or something like that. That's a good question. I don't know. We'd have to organize that. Some kind of open known issues, a public facing, like you would see on GitHub. It's a good idea.
Yeah, Michelle, we have something already, right, for people to file?
Yeah, the bug report form is right in the tester channel, and in the pins in the tester channel, there's a list of things not to report and a list of things to report. When we get the bug reports, I prefer to see the duplicates because then you can see how people arrived at the different bugs if they had the same bug, which gives us more information. And then it's unedited and biased, and it hasn't been, it's how each person individually got to that bug, which is good to see. The more information we get together.
Absolutely. Recreation steps are critical, especially with such a wide, worldwide diverse audience, different operating systems, different machines, different devices. So yeah, we'll keep doing that. I'm going to be really careful about adding yet another overhead to what we're already doing on the team, just so that we can stay focused on getting the code written. Right. Volkran, is that it on the code updates there?
That is all I want to leak and or address. There. I do want to say there were hundreds of changes that went in, or 1.33 hundreds that went in since last week. I can't really just go down that list, so I tried to give everybody a update. Worker changes, NFT.
We talked about that, right? You were talking about the list last week. I looked at it. My eyes was like, wow. I mean, it's just kind of like guys got big and like, where do we even start with all the changes? So I'm glad you were able to summarize, the big things this week, because that list is massive.
Yeah,
Awesome.
A lot of work by the devs. So yeah, that's it for my
work. All right, let's talk. I've got a couple of cool things to share. But before we talk about some of the art, I've got just a couple more bits of art from Gina Bobina this week. She continues to do really cool things. But let's talk about timelines. We've been talking for the last couple of weeks. Deuterino, Volkran, Musashi have all been huddled together working on planning and tickets and scheduling and everything. So the latest update that I have as of this morning is that they tell me I have an average of 6 to 7 weeks of coding remaining per dev. Some have a little bit more, some have a lot less. So, that's just an average number. And that includes, some of the newfound work. You guys know that scheduling term. That's when you plan your project, but then you realize either you left something out or you start working on something and you find out that there is additional work you didn't expect. So there's newfound work, bug fixing in that timeline there. But not all the bugs are in there. We're going to find more, we know that. And we're going to want to do some polish time as well. So takeaway for you guys, about 6 to 7 weeks of dev time left, and plus a little bit more in the end for polish. We're going to keep working with Musashi and Deuterino, and Volkran too, all the devs, on converging that date to more clarity. So week by week, we'll be able to deliver you updates. And you'll also be able to see what's happening inside of TSG as you get to play it and look at it. We chose the idea of building in public as opposed to just quietly, working so that everybody in the community could see what's going on live in real time. There's pluses and minuses of that, but I think in reality, we just want to have everybody up to date. And so you guys know what's going on. You're part of the community. You're really important to us. 6 to 7 more weeks of building Dubstep Prod and testing on top of that. Testing will be going on simultaneously. Legendary SK will be in there with her team testing every single day. They're actually the ones pushing the releases. So when you see a release goes out, you know that the QA team is actually, doing that work there. So that's the date update. We'll keep giving you update. So what we won't going to have Godot in May. I don't know if you kind of look at that 6 to 7 weeks there, Lonely Island. It looks like May, but we're going to be very careful about that. I want to make sure that get all of our parts and pieces together. But speaking of May, yes, officially there will be May Mayhem. I know that we were kind of quiet about that in the past because we weren't quite ready to talk about it. We don't have the features set up yet, but it will be Mayhem will be happening again, and that also, will have an effect on the team and what we're doing. So we've got to figure that out to make sure that it goes off without a hitch. But yeah, exciting times coming for May. Grumpy, 6 to 7 months. What? No, 6 to 7 weeks. Next thing. Any question on those two things? So there's a schedule, and May Mayhem is coming. Good news. May Mayhem leaks would revive the player base a bit. Yeah, probably, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't here last year during May Mayhem, and so it's going to be a new experience for me. Do you guys have fun? Was it good? Was it awesome for you guys? I saw some of the numbers and the giveaways. It seemed pretty ginormous. Dancing Duck. Ultimate month to play TS. Mayhem Godot or not. I know DeFi Crypto. Man, wouldn't we all love to be playing on the new stable engine, server authoritative, cool stuff in there. Some cool features that we haven't talked about yet coming soon as well. Back then I sucked. I may be ready to play in May. Okay, Willow. Yeah. Let me hit the send button on something that's currently sitting in my queue there. So there's some new art now from Gina Bobina. You have some trees. You're trying to figure out what trees to pick. We have some feedback on that. We also got the Glass Factory and Sand Mine. Some of those, when you look at it, you're like, whoa, those are those are kind of just straightforward buildings. But again, she's doing a great job. And just make sure we get these rules nailed down so that we can start the influx of massive new bits of art. Dubstep art looks great. Yeah, Gina is doing an awesome job for us, working really hard. And when you look at, when you look at those trees, I could tell you, for example, as we're looking at those trees, you see 1, 2, and 3, right? You might go, wow, 3 looks awesome, but my feedback is 3. A tree should be there in the world, and when you look at them, you see them. But when you look at the world, you really want to see the buildings more than you see the trees, right? And so we have discussions like, hey, number 3 kind of distracts from the buildings around it. And number 2 is really squarish. Can we make it less squarish? And number 1, maybe reduce the layer cake effect there, right? So Gina's really great at jumping in and making those changes. And now Masashi's going to be helping on the actual production part of that. So it's going to be, I'm excited to see all the stuff that's going to start popping in really, really fast. What's next on our agenda, Michelle? Hit those. Maybe we get some questions. Take a little bit of moment for ask questions.
Yeah, I see Tesla's asking when Play to Earn will start. I'm not sure if we have a direct timeline for that based on the 6 to 7 weeks, or if it'll be soon after that or farther down the line.
Yeah.
It'll for sure not start until at least the game is fully launched, so at least 6 to 7 weeks.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly the same kind of timeline there. We're delayed, we know, but first we get the game done, get it out, get it stable, get it tested, and make sure it all works. Then we'll turn it on. We want to make sure that part is very, very solid. Make sure the Gala chain is all hooked up, everything is working like water through a hose, just flowing. What are the questions? Have we seen any other questions? Anybody got questions? Ask them. Well, we can keep going while we're watching for questions there. Hopefully we're giving you so much information. Questions are low.
I see Mike is,
go ahead.
I don't know, one of the second or third people who's just recently asked when the rewards and the bakery and cakery and the rare storages will be sent. It's all ready. It's just waiting for distribution. We're just having some distribution issues, so just be patient. They should be out soon. And it's like the 3rd or 4th time I've already said that today. So
yeah, people ask that question. Speaking of things, maybe it's a good moment to remind, kind of refresh everybody on the thinking about what we're doing, why we're doing Townstar Godot versus Townstar Live. I'll jump in on that, and then Musashi, I'll ask you to step in and share some notes as well. So, because remember, way back in the summer last year, we talked about the challenges with Townstar Live being client authoritative, which makes cheating very easily, broken economy, just all sorts of difficulties working with that code base on top of Play Canvas. And we started on a quest, now turning to Epic Quest, to update the game, change it to a new, to work on top of the Godot engine instead of Play Canvas, convert it to server authoritative, start working on the art, and get ourselves to this point where we could have a new tokenomics, a new economy plan there in place. We can turn back earning on, and then we can do it with confidence that we wouldn't have to spend so much of our dev time on cheating and resolving that just fundamental architectural issues. So we've been working on that. You guys can see it when you look to play Godot. The first step is getting to what we call parity. Let's get all the features that we had working in Townstar Live that we want to continue on moving forward with in Godot, get those up and working, make sure they fit, and then start moving on to what we call forever features, right? That's when we talked in the past about persistent towns that don't go away at the end of the competition or don't go away at the end of the month, right? It's something that you can build on, you can enjoy, you can you craft and make a really true fun place play with. But we also talked about there's two modes, right? Competition mode, because we all love competitions, but then forever mode. And then changing to Jiri, the new chain here that we have at Gala, and what that means for all the NFTs that are out there. And so, before I jump into some of those features there, Musashi, do you want to just give a short recap of, some of the design work that you're doing that we have planned and to put into Townstar after we get Godot done?
Hey, so after release, you mean?
Yeah. Stuff like persistence, upgrading NFTs, other stuff we've talked about already. Just a refresh, yeah.
Yeah, in the future we want to have persistent town. That would be a way different game mode, not so hardcore competitive as what you guys are used to, although we want to keep competitions as they are and even improve upon them. One of the things you'll see once the game releases is that we can actually create concurrent competitions. So you can have like a week-long competition and also have a small, more hardcore, more specific competition for 24 hours or something like that. So we want to have upgrading of units and NFTs. We have discussed that a couple times. Of course, to bring in more people, we also want to improve and add an FUE. Social mechanics are a big thing that we want to explore. So visiting each other's towns and everything related to things that SageMaker is very familiar with, coming from Farmville, Singa. And things like referral systems and, of course, consumables, which you've seen in a way in the research center in the current game. We're also exploring that, improving that design, hopefully, for all of you. So those are some of the things that we're adding in the future. But yeah, main ones are
giant map too. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, and I see some people ask about achievements or badges. That's also something that we want to explore. So yeah, we have a big roadmap for the game after release, but we're concentrating right now on getting the game out the door.
Yeah, so just a reminder, maybe we can go a little bit more detail on this in the coming weeks and get some demos in, not only of TSG where it's currently at, but also share a little bit more details, reshare some of the details we've already talked about. We know it's been a while, so yeah. Okay, let's see. People asking when in various different ways. And Grumpy, living up to your name there. Let's see, 6-7 weeks of dev, and then more for testing. Yeah, Hot Toast Hotto. That could be it. One of the things that we're doing a little differently than other people, other teams is, we're just continuous testing. Legendary FK and our team have been testing all along. That helps us move more quickly through bugs, find stuff that's broken more quickly and get them fixed. And you're seeing that's happening live as we're going with Townstar Godot. It's the releases are happening really, really frequently. What else? Anybody got other questions? Because I know we got still some more stuff to share today.
Like a lot of people are just asking questions about May Mayhem and what's going to happen and how it's going to go and what we're going to do. And we haven't announced any of those plans yet. So those announcements will be coming closer to May Mayhem. So just be patient, and we'll get them out to you.
Yeah.
Before May Mayhem starts, for sure.
Hey, what if that was a surprise? May Mayhem's a surprise. Oh, we just ruined it for everybody. Oh, sorry, guys. For all those who don't like surprises, here's a surprise for your surprise.
Technically, they wanted to be told of the surprise well in advance. So, well done. It's all there now.
What's next, Michelle? Let's move forward. People are asking, is it story time? Is it Mal's story time?
It might be. I don't know if he has any other meta news to share, or if he wants to jump right into story time. He can do whatever he wants, I suppose.
Okay, I suppose we can do that. Sorry, I was distracted reading Discord as usual, not paying attention or even preparing.
They're saying Mal Mayhem time. That's what they're saying. Mal Mayhem.
Oh, Mayhem is going to be an interesting one. I feel anyway. One way or another, it'll be Mayhem. So it will live up to its name, I feel like. No such thing as a boring May. But anyway, so this has been an interesting week. Don't know how many people were paying attention recently, or maybe checked the announcement. Sure, maybe some people had seen the packs and the portal, and there was creatures, and I guess you're all going to want an explanation as what's happened. But of course, this all has to happen in secret because we cannot allow the boss to know that once again the portal has been acting funny. Because it hasn't. It's been perfectly behaved. And nothing ever goes wrong. It's always fine. I got a call from Brian. Very distressed Brian. Screaming the portal has now begun to act funky again. And he was unable to do anything because this massive force field has been created. And it has begun pulling treasures. It was reclaiming its treasures. I thought, oh no. And he said it gets worse. He said platoons of corrupted creatures, interdimensional armies just bouncing through that portal. He said, I don't know what you're going to do about that. I was like, oh no. And we always said it. If we needed reinforcements, we were going to call Shelley. So I got on the phone to Shelley and I told her we must not let the boss know, but we are going to have to go and get every one of those back and the packs. So we began Operation Not This Again. And I got a call from Sage. He says to me, Mal, is anything going on? No, boss. What you mean? He said, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've just seen a group of strange creatures walk past my window. I said, boss, I've told you, you've been staying online too late. I have to tell you to go to sleep. You are not sleeping enough, boss. I think it's part of that. He said, maybe so. I said, before you go, will you just tell me where exactly you think you're seeing those creatures? And he told me at the office. I said, great, well, you definitely need to sleep more, boss. And off me and Shelley went to go and find these creatures. And we found them. And they were roaming around. So we began fighting, start clobbering them. It was a great war. Thankfully, Shelley had came from the community halls, which means she often carries her armor anyway, anywhere she goes. So we were able to respond quickly and deal with these. There was also a list we found. The portal was angry, and some of these monsters and creatures had been sent to claim some of the community. So we had to deal with them. I seen some names like Willow, Poison, Postman, Nibs. I thought, no. We love these too much. We must defend these. So we began searching for all these other creatures that would try and steal from our community or harm them. No. Shelley was very angry. Shelley pulled out all the stops. dealt with all the creatures that were hunting the community. We're not going to reveal the full list. We don't want to panic anyone. But just know that you are all safe. So are your items. Shelley dealt with that. And on the way back to dragging some corpses through to the portal, because we can't have the boss find these. How do you explain these? We don't. They never existed. And on the way back to the portal, I got a phone call from Brian to say even more have arrived. And we're going to need reinforcements, and he's got an idea. I had no idea what he was thinking, but he went off into that portal. And me and Shelley began fighting again, these strange creatures. They had packs on them that had been stolen right out of my pocket. And I was going to get them back. And we began to loot these and noticed that they'd contained some of these packs. There was a nice special amount of packs. This was our bounty, our return. And I think people know that they have been gifted to certain people. And those were the remnants and remains of the loot, but we still had to find the rest, because that wasn't good enough. We need the rest back. But there was too many. We were surrounded. There was not enough swinging. There was not enough clobbering that could save us. And last second, out the portal emerged Brian, riding one of the snakes. He'd went back and got one of our snake friends from those corrupted tunnels. And he came galloping through, but more like a sliver, so you can imagine that. And right behind him was Legs, riding the other snake. We now had two powerful friends on our side. All the reinforcements we needed to beat these beasts and claim back all the packs. It was a long fight, but we won. It's been a long few days, but we're rested. And we were able to go back and recover the packs. And they have been placed safely back into the store. But there was a period where they were not in our hands anymore. You see, it turns out the portal didn't have the strength to break Todd's unbreakable pack bonds. They were just so beefy. Because remember, if they had legs and arms, they'd be doormen asking you for ID. And even the portal was unable. That is why I had to steal them all. And while trying to break them open, it had managed to invest some of its powers onto them. And therefore, that is why now the open packs that you will receive will still contain some of that remnants. A slight essence of energy. A 1% production speed bonus for each one you own, up to a maximum of 10. The power fades after that, allowing only a 10%. Which is certainly not an only. It's fantastic. So that was a nice recoup of the packs. It was a long battle. Shelley is returned back to the community halls. Sage had no idea and got a good sleep. Brian is fine, and the snakes and legs have returned back and said to come and see us maybe soon. And that was the story of how one day Brian called, the packs were gone, and Operation Not This Again had to unfold. And I hope now everyone understands what had happened, because that was a wild week. And to those who had angered the portal, I have no idea what's going to happen with you. We did our best. Shelley tried. But maybe you're just going to have to be a bit more careful around that portal. And for what it's worth, Brian once again claims he has fixed this portal, and that there is no more issues to unfold that he believes. But we will see. Because there's always something with that portal lately, and I don't trust it anymore. And I hope everyone now understands. And I can move on to some leaks. I know we want leaks for the meta. Everyone's curious what has happened. Because I mentioned that since going in, the portal brings in this where kind of the research center had the big cash price, of course, because it was the original method, the phase 0, you want to call it, before phase 1 and 2 went in, which was sort of the big process around like this ending this cash loop, bringing in the layers of strategy, giving more aspects and dimensions. But that required some changes to the research centre, just how that's performed and thought about. And it has been fun to observe and go away and do some changes. Now, I've got the list in front of me for once. And I will read as follows. So the buffs had usually been costing quite a bit for the 25%. Well, not quite a bit. They were much cheaper than the global. But anyway. So the farm tractor research costs will now be 7 million in cash. So much lower, you can get to that much quicker. But the cost of the ingredients on top of that will be 100 oak wood and 50 cocoa. The windmill research costs are going to be changed to 7 million also. But their ingredients costs will be 100 sugar and 100 flour. Again, both to boost spread outward for 25% of the walking speed. The cow research costs, also for walking speed, is now 7 million. But the new cost with that is 100 milk and 100 wood. The global research costs, the big boost, the big boof, as people like to say, that is now 50 million. This was once 250. This is now 50 million. It's cheaper. But it's 100 honeycomb and 30 decorated cakes on top of that. So you can decide as you wish for that. But that still remains to be the 75% walking speed boost that stacks with the first three's 25%, and of course the 50% global for the other units still remains as well. And on top of that, and the final change, no, it's not the final change, my bad, there's two more changes. There's the portal star, crafting costs, and the amount of stars. So the portal changes. Very unsure still, think it needs a bit more time to fully understand how the new changes to the research centre now play in with these slight tweaks to the portal. So it'll be 2.5 million cash now for 350,000 stars. And we'll see how that one plays out. And the final change is eggs are no longer cash boosted, and there isn't a replacement. So enjoy. Too much boosting of cash. Getting a bit silly now. We're all going to remember what it's like to play Town Star. You can choose, as there is now, many, many cash rush options. I'm sure Michelle will list out a bunch. She often gives some great advice to the new guys. There's plenty of options. Cash rush, depending on what you like or what kind of player you are. So, yeah, eggs aren't boosted. I believe those prices might have even returned to normal. I don't know what's going on in that part of the world, why eggs are expensive. I feel like there's just trillions of chickens on the planet. There's no excuse. But that is that. I can move on to the sale. If there's any other leaks that anyone's going to do first.
I leaked the art. I don't know if there's any. Volcron shared some news. I think we're full up on leaks now.
Okay. Well, this one, I'd been in the chat saying I was pretty excited for this one because it's just one of those it's the art. I love it. The utility is obviously great, but the art, I don't know what it was. There's enough memes. I said there was memes around it. People had said it in this meta. And it's just the art made me so happy. It was so fun. So I'm going to introduce the Fancy Barn. What is a fancy barn? Well, a fancy barn contains a quick cow. What's a quick cow? It's a cow that's double the speed of a normal cow. So it's a very quick cow. But the animations, when the cow is crafting, it'll be running on a treadmill in the barn. And when it's not crafting, known as idle, it will run around the barn on the racetrack. The cow also has a sort of runner's vest on that says moo and a sweatband on his head. And the black spots are black fire patterns. And I'm sorry, I was just so excited. Just the essence of a quick cow was just in there, and the animation matched extremely well. I just love the fact that it's so good, honestly. Anyway, this is going to be a rare. It's going to be a rare rarity. The price is going to be $70. It is going to be in Gala, Town, and Credit Card. and I think it's going to be the usual time, but let me just confirm. Be Monday, March 20th, 11 a.m. PST. It'll be in the 3 payment options, $70, and the supply in the store will be 1,500. Be a rare rarity. So everyone can be excited. I can't see comments yet, but let me see if I can jump into the Discord and maybe just share a random clip of the cow's art, because it's just so funny.
That cow is so cute with his little jacket on.
Yeah, so it's in the Discord if anyone wants to see the cow. It's just incredible. It was a brilliant job on just bringing a quick cow to life, and the barn is kitted out to support such an aggressively sporty cow with its treadmill and its outside racetrack. Let me see. I think I've got one. Yeah, I can share this one. Here's a fun short video of it running around. So this would be when it's just idling or not crafting. It just run around the building. This is just a sort of small video. But yeah, just so I could see the animation of how it would look, and I thought it was just so funny. Hope everyone enjoys that. Yeah, so it's always great when it's the art's really fun, like really goes sort of like in with what's going on, and I honestly, but yeah, if a quick cow, well, it's a fancy barn, but if you want quicker cows sort of at all times, plus imagine one of those with the cow boost all fully done, I bet you those things are like rockets. Anyway, I don't think I've got anything else to say, so I'll leave it back to Michelle.
I think people are asking if it casts the same amount of shade as a regular cow, and if it requires the same amount of feed and water.
Yes, all same on the feed and water stuff, and crafting times and shade. Shade. It's 2 shade on the barn, right? Because it'll be
Yes.
1 shade on this, so it's 1 shade less.
And yes, it'll stack with the haunted NFTs, correct?
Yes, they are part of it as well.
Does anybody have any other questions out there?
I'm looking. I'm not seeing a lot, but that cow, the race cow barn, looks really awesome. It's like a lot of fun.
Speed
Yeah.
difference, Mallet's twice as fast.
Yes, so that's 8 speed versus the in-game cow at 4, I think. Or it'll be double anyway. If I've got those wrong, I don't think they are, but it's double the speed.
Oh,
Any
haven't
purchase
seen
limit?
that.
No purchase limit on the fancy barn.
Perfect.
So one of the notes that I'm seeing is people have questions about the competition server. Mel, I know we just you and I had a chat about that yesterday. Do you want to remind people what happens with the competitions and how we run them and the prizes and stuff that we give out?
Yeah, so currently we do 2 competitions a month, sort of on a bi-weekly cadence. There's a Gala competition, which is the top 1,000. And then there's the NFT competition, which is the top 4,500. And honestly, a really good one for the new people as well. There is the 50,000 star requirements to qualify, which really isn't hard. And a lot of people in the chat would tell you how to do it and help you, especially the guilds. The guilds are always great. So make sure if you're very unsure of like how to get into these competitions, please use the community. They are a fantastic source for information. But the competitions themselves, there are 2 a month. So far, there's usually a lot of just new metas and new crafts that sort of get in. And as of recently, we've been doing sort of the same competition, but we've been changing the dynamics of other things like the research center and now the portal. So there's sort of given the chance to run the same build you've done, but still have to do it in a slightly different way without the complete rework when it's new crafts each week, which we will still go back to. That's not going away. Have I not covered anything else?
No, that sounds what we talked about. Just want to make sure everybody has an update. We really haven't touched on it much in the last few months. I think maybe the new people, it's good for them to know as well.
It is, you're right. I think it's just expected, and it's just sort of expected if you're here, you know, and then I feel like it is a very good reminder. And that'll be the competition server if you are someone who's listening doesn't know. That'll be the competition server. So the other servers are more for practice. They reset monthly. You can practice there, and you can have a town on each server, not running at the same time, as in the same screen time, but you can hop between servers and towns and try different things out there. You can nuke your town if it doesn't work out, so don't worry about that. Yeah, so the competitions you can get a lot of leaks in the Discord. Sometimes they're posted early, put in early, so you can begin practicing. You can use the bot that Michelle set up. We can do the command, which you'll see posted in there, the TS meta command, which will then show you the most up-to-date information, or at least the last information related to the meta, so you can sort of try and figure out what you want to do. And if you look in the FAQ channel, you'll also see a bunch of guides and places you can find answers. But of course, in the Town Scott discussion channel, you'll get a lot of help as well. So please come in and ask there as well. And it is a fun competition. You don't have to do crazy things on your first time. You can just come in and enjoy it and try and whatever, learn, get through the stages. And, you know, it's a great way, especially the NFT competitions are a great way to start winning some utility that you can use in next competitions and so on. And a lot of people are doing that. If there's a lot of people in the chat, I'm sure, who would say now that they have a lot of ghost cards or even storages from just playing in the 2 competitions each month, that would get you the 10 days play, where you maybe have to do another few days depending on how you do it. But the idea of the 10 days play, if you're playing the competitions and coming back and doing the trades and stuff, you know, you get your storages for playing as well as the ghost card reward that you can earn in the NFT competition. Of course, in the Gala competition, you can get top 1,000. There's plenty of no NFT players who are exceptional and are always there reminding people. There's videos, Dubstep does videos showing no NFT players how to rank fairly high. So don't be intimidated when you hear competition and think, oh, well, everyone just knows how to play. It's not like that. There's things to learn, but you can definitely do it at your own pace and be helped.
That's a great summary. Thanks for bringing that, for sharing, getting everybody up to speed with it. And yeah, new players, don't be intimidated. Just jump right in. There's a lot of support and help from the community. There is. And thanks everybody from the community for jumping in and helping. It's how we build, and we're going to grow together. Is there anything else? So we're past our hour. Michelle, is there anything else on our agenda today, or is it time to call it a wrap?
I don't have anything left.
Okay. Shivo, boy, salty during Mal, and you want to ask a question about, are you guys listening or what? Limit the cow sales for an hour to allow us all to buy. Oh,
I don't think 1,500 cows are going to disappear in the first hour, but maybe I'm proven wrong. But come on, really don't think so. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of cows.
A lot of cows. But yeah, Shiva, we've talked again in the past about listening to community. So yes, we are listening. Well, we may not always agree with the ideas. We may have our own ideas, but feedback's always welcome, as I mentioned. Boy, let's see. Any last questions before we call it a day, folks? Vogue asked, are the prices of windmill and sheep pens staying the same now?
Yeah, they're staying the same. That's that one's more in for the new peeps. So as a reminder, The windmills and the sheeps are cheaper options that are good for a cash rush. So, people will probably tell you those are the likely ones anyway. You've got meadows. I'd put those in some time ago. Always been very proud of those. They were very useful for those who didn't have such things like wheat stands and so on. It's, if you're sort of on a animal rush or doing that for money, the meadows are really useful if you see those in the store. In the in-game store, they feed your animals rather than going the feed mill and trough route and bringing the wheat to the feed mills. That's a pretty slow route, and you can just place down meadows as a free tip there. But I've always liked the meadows because they're very useful. So just make sure to take advantage of things like cheaper windmills if you're going that way, or the cheaper sheep pens with meadows. There's plenty of good strategy. It's not worth avoiding if you don't know. Someone will tell you.
Yeah, speaking of strategies, thanks everybody who are sharing out, pictures of your towns for new players and getting people started. I really appreciate that about what you guys are doing.
I've just seen a comment about sushi. Just going to address that. So I am looking at for April. I do want to try and add in. I said I'd try and get a small piece of the fishing in, not like the whole sort of content. Maybe just sort of the minimal amount so we can get in and enjoy some of that. Because of course we're going to save all that good stuff for Godot. But I understand the need for something fresh. And I've obviously leaked more than enough to expose that there's some good fishing content available. So I'm going to be working on some ideas over the weekend, and I'm going to be pushing to get a fishing meta. Well, it'll be sushi because you've got the building and the unit and the fish and whatever else. So I'm going to try and get a sushi meta in April. I'm just going to say it because Poison's probably just going to come and hunt me down if I don't say it. I'm doing everything I can to get us a sushi meta in April.
Sambi, guys, send them notes. On Dubstep, where you're adding more content on Townstar Live. We don't think that will delay. We think the teams are set up well so that Townstar Live content will not delay Townstar Godot. Mal and team are doing a great job on that.
It has no clash whatsoever. It's completely separate. We just wouldn't. We're just not that silly. We just wouldn't be doing that. Just going wild of new content and delaying their game. We wouldn't do that. It's absolutely not delaying anything on that side.
Cool. All right. Well, since we're over, we could be asking questions all day. Keep asking. Mal, Michelle will be in the community. Let's go ahead and call this one a wrap, everybody. Again, thank you for joining us. Appreciate your comments.